And this is the last class for ethical theories. And after this, we move to risk, right? So let's try as much as possible to listen. And if you have questions, please don't forget. Ask the questions. Ask questions if you have any. All right. So hi Elizabeth. Elizabeth is joining us for the first time. While she gets set up, let's kickstart. Please, everybody, confirm that you can see my screen. I want to see at least 3 yes in the comments that you can see my screen. Please confirm that you can see my screen. At least 3 yeses. That yes, I can see your screen. All right, Ozana can see. Confirm that what you're seeing on your screen is ethical theories. Please confirm that what you can see is ethical theories. All right, so quick class check. William, can you say hello? Just to be sure we're here and we know what we have together. You can see moral development. Great. That's good. William can see moral development. Ozana can. What about you, Abimbola? What about you, Abimbola? Abimbola Moyalamala, what's up? Can you hear me? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Oh, you're joining with 2 phones. You have to reduce the volume of one to the barest minimum. And all right. So Elizabeth Olayonju, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, sir. That. Hello, sir.
Yeah,
I've done
hi
that.
Elizabeth. Can you see my screen?
Not very clear because I'm using my phone. I'm not at home. I'm not using laptop, please.
Oh, you need to try as much as possible to you need to try to join with your laptop, okay?
Okay.
But so this is your first time, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So hopefully you'll be able to catch up, and if you have questions, we can touch base on it together. So yeah, let's thank you. You can mute yourself now. Let's get to work. So we've been talking about ethical theories for the past 2 classes, and this is the third and final class on ethical theories. So let's try as much as possible to be together in this. And today's class takes us to the confines of an amazing man, a very strong man. His name is Kohlberg, right? Kohlberg is, hey Minor, welcome to class. You're late, but welcome either ways. So Kohlberg is a philosopher. He's an American philosopher, originally German, but you know these United States of America people now. Everybody wants to go there. Right, so Kohlberg is originally German, but he identifies as an American. He's a moral philosopher, and philosophers come up with theoretical behaviors on a lot of things, and especially in economics and ethics and the likes, right? We have philosophers in this regard that come up with theories, with methods and all of that on ways to hack all these things. And besides Kohlberg, we'd also talk about Gabriel Haynes. Gabriel Haynes is a philosopher like Kohlberg. He did some work based on Kohlberg's ideology, and we'll get there in no time. But today we're starting with the 6 stages of moral reasoning and development. Don't forget that we've been coming from the various ethical theories, the likes of relativism, absolutism, subjectivism, and the likes. Yeah. So today we're moving to a different stratosphere entirely, right? And that's Kohlberg's stages of moral development. So let's go. First off, we're talking about the 6 stages of moral reasoning and development. We believe that there are stages to these things. So I'll give you an example here. We don't expect that your moral stance should be the same as the moral stance of a person that has not taken the ICANN class. If you get what I'm saying. If you are not an accountant, you are not guided by the 5 principles of accounting, the likes of objectivity, confidentiality, professional competence, and the likes. Yeah. So if you're not a chartered accountant, we don't expect you to live by the code. We expect that every human should have good ethical standard. However, accountants are held at high ethical regard because we believe that, because the entire public believes that we have code of conduct that we live by, and that way you can agree with me that what you will do, what would come up, what would come up and shoot out to you, and make you feel like, oh, this should be done, might not be a layman, out of lack of a better word, might not be able to identify these things. Please, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. If you can't, try as much as possible to identify, to signify, so that I can adjust my microphone or something. Yeah, good. So, talking about Kohlberg's stages of moral development, we have 6 stages for this dude, and the stages are pre, conventional, and post. Note, pre, conventional, and post. I said it that way so that you'll be able to remember in examination setting. It's all conventional, right? So there's a pre-conventional ideology, there's a conventional level of morality, and there's a post-conventional level of morality, right? So, yeah, let's go into the boring stuff. We said he's an American philosopher who developed theory on moral behavior and was first published in 1958. Like I always tell you, ICANN would not ask you this question about where, when Kohlberg was born, when he published and all of that. No, we would definitely not ask you that, right? But we will talk about the content, and that's what you need to know for exam purposes. So, he argued that individuals, and obviously when you hear the word stages, you know that people go from one level to another. Now, please note that all 6 stages are progressive. All 6 stages are progressive. You cannot get to one stage without the other. All right? You can't get to one stage without the other. Now, this is the peculiarity to Kohlberg's stages of moral reasoning and development. When you go from stage 1 to stage 2, it is very rare or difficult for you to go back to stage 1. It is expected that once you leave stage 1, you are done with stage 1, right? And when we say stages, we're talking about the stages of moral development. It's expected that when you leave stage 1, you're done with stage 1. And besides that, it is difficult to fall back to the previous stage. However, yes, we have 6 stages. It is not cast in stone. There is no evidence to support the fact that all individuals get to all 6 stages. Sometimes people die on the first stage. Sometimes people die on the 3rd stage. Sometimes people die on the 5th stage. Only a handful of people eventually get to the 6th stage. And this, please note that this has nothing to do with age. This has nothing to do with age. It's just more about moral development, moral reasoning, and all of that. So good. Let's dive into it. The levels of morality are divided into 3: pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. Now, each level has 2 stages. Three levels, 2 stages per level. Now, the first level is pre-conventional, and the stages in pre-conventional are obedience and punishment, and 2, self-interest. That's individualism and exchange. Obedience and punishment, and 2, individual self-interest being individualism and exchange. Good. Level 2 is conventional. For conventional, the stages we have under conventional are interpersonal accord and maintaining social order. Interpersonal accord, I just use the good boy, nice girl attitude just so that you guys would have things to relate with. Interpersonal accord and conformity, then maintaining social order. Now, the last stage is post-conventional. I don't know why this thing is modeled up like this. It looked really good when I had it on Word. But yeah, it's modeled up now. So the last level, which is the third level, is post-conventional, and it's got two stages. First stage is social contract, and the second stage is universal ethical principle. Now, I'll ask you a question. Please use the comments. I'd ask you a question. When we say I want you to have a grasp on level 6, and level 6 is pretty much hold on. So level 6 is pretty much universal ethical principles. So tell me something. I need you to type in the comments people or organizations that you know that these organizations have universal. When I say universal, I'm talking about like worldwide, international, universal impact. Put in the comments companies that have universal impact. Please put it in the comments, please. I'll use that to give you a grasp of the last stage, and then we can work from stage 1 again. I need you to give me companies that have universal impact all around the world. Companies that, besides just, it's not just about, even if the companies in the United States, their impact is not only felt in the United States, it goes around. So tell me. Coca-Cola. Yeah, that's nice. Coca-Cola. Yes, I need at least 3 more examples. Minor, William gave me an example already. So Minor, Uzana, Elizabeth, Abimbola. I need 4 more examples. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Companies that have universal impact. I mean, companies that are not just in one country. Even if they are in just one country, but their impact is felt all around the world. So give me examples, please. Examples. Yeah, William said Coca-Cola, so that's a good one. Please don't say Pepsi. Please, I use God and beg you. Please don't say Pepsi. Somebody has given us Coca-Cola. Give us something out of that stratosphere. Nestle. I'm not so. I don't agree with Nestle, but okay. I don't agree with it, but okay. Yeah, come on, guys. Guys, give me these examples, please, so we can move on. Habibola say MTN, you can roam your SIM. What's your business? Okay, but wait, guys. I just want to be sure that I have full audience. Ozana, are you with me? Ozana in the highest. Ozana, oh, I've gotten input from Minor.
I'm with you, sir.
Yeah, you're not responding. I need you to respond. Don't be away from
I've been thinking of something.
What are you thinking about? Companies that
No,
have.
as in, yes, no, I've been thinking, trying to figure out something.
Come on, guys. What happened to TikTok? What happened to Facebook, X, formerly known as
Insta
Twitter?
Instagram, Twitter.
Exactly. These are companies that, even though they are located in the United States or in Thailand or wherever TikTok is located, they have universal impacts, right? So we see them as what's it called? We see them as universal shapers, people that or organizations that when they do something, when they say something. So let me give you a very good example. Elon Musk. Now, the entire Bitcoin gist and crypto gist started failing from when Elon Musk decided to move some things. Now, the actions of just one man affected the entire crypto. Do we get the point now? Do we get the point? Is the actions of, I'm talking about companies that the actions of one person of that one company affects, it has ripple effects across board. So, all right, we're not going to dwell on that. We're not going to dwell on that. Let's just move on, and we start with conventional level of morality. Just to be sure, Elizabeth, are you following? Elizabeth, you can use the comments. It's fine if your background is too noisy.
I'm hearing.
All right, good, good.
Hello?
I need
I'm
everybody.
listening.
I
Thank
need
you.
everybody to be here. Thank you. Elizabeth, where are you joining
Okay.
from? Where are you joining from?
I'm in Lagos.
You're in Lagos. Okay. Why did you say it like that?
Yes.
Like I'm supposed to know where you live. Now, wow.
I'm in
Uh,
Lagos.
all right. Is this your first attempt at CSME? And is this your first attempt
No,
at ICANN?
actually, I was there last year, but something came up. I had to stop. I was there physically.
Oh,
I've
okay,
been
okay.
coming to networks, yes,
VI or
but
is on?
VI. But
Okay,
I'm
okay,
going to
okay.
take the May diet.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. That's good. And you're
Uh,
writing CSME.
yes, I'm writing CSME. I'm writing PM and taxation.
All right. Good, 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 good. So let's put our backs into it and let's get the job done.
Thank you.
Okay. So
I'm listening. Okay.
like, yeah, you can mute yourself now. Thank you. So like I said, we're starting
All
with
right.
pre-conventional level of morality. Yeah, and this level of reasoning, this level of reasoning is common in children, and it is, yes, adults have it, but then it's mostly common in children and people that are in their formative years. And I'll give you examples. So you remember how we used to say that when a child puts his hand in fire, like you used to say that let a child make mistakes so that the child would not repeat it, right? When a child, guys, please, I need you to use the comments now. When a child puts the hand in fire, what happens to the child? What happens to the hand? Comments, please. Comments, please. Let's be fast on this. Don't forget, you know how this class goes. There's no right or wrong answer. We can laugh at you, but then no wrong answer. Just type. When a child puts their hand in fire, what happens to the hand? It gets burnt. Good. And when it gets burnt, will the child ever repeat that action again? Abimbola, when they burn your hand, you will put your hand again.
Repeat it.
Exactly. It would never happen again. Why? The child is in the first stage. The child is in the first stage, and this is it. This is what we are talking about. In that stage, we understand that there are direct consequences for action. There are direct consequences for action. Do you understand? Individuals in this stage, they usually judge right and wrong based on the consequences. For example, your mother says, don't, okay, you know what? Let's do it like this. When you were less than 18, when your parents tell you that if you do this, this is what will happen, this is what I'll do to you. Okay, for example, if you steal meat from the pot when you were young, I'm looking for a very, very granular example for this. When you were young, what is the consequence for stealing meat in the pot? What's the consequence for stealing meat in the pot when you were young? Guys, use the comments. Come on. What's the consequence for slap and possibly punishment? Thank you. Now that you're older, don't you eat your meat from the pot? Do you get the point? You remember I told you that time, I think last class, or I think like 2 classes ago, that ethics evolve from time to time. Now, an action that you consider to be wrong years ago would no longer be wrong now. For example, this old meat stealing thingy. Taking meat from the pot is something that will get you beaten, serious beating. Like, I know that there are some of you here that you are professional meat stealers when you were young, but then it's fine. No judgment. I'm not judging you. Me, so I used to steal meat when I was very young. I used to steal meat very well. Like, I got so good at it that I will not take the meat out of the pot. I will bite out of all the meat in the pot. That way the meat is complete, but the size has reduced. Do you understand? Now, there are levels to these things. I am not a thief. Don't call me. No, I am a good person. It's just, you just need to add skill to whatever you do, right? But then I know that action is wrong. Why do you know? As a child, listen, as a child, how do you know an action is wrong? It is from the consequence of that action. You know that if you go to school and you don't concentrate and you get low grades, you'd possibly not get Christmas clothes. Do you understand? So the real reason why kids growing up, the real reason why kids pass exams or why kids do well in school was not because they love education. It was because of it was not because they love education. Excuse me. It was because they know the consequences of what they're doing. Do you understand? You know what happens if you do this. As you grow older, you know that if you have unprotected sex, what happens? You run the risk of having unwanted pregnancy. Do you get actions and consequences? As an accountant, you know that if you steal money and you get caught, note, and you get caught, that's why we have auditors. That's why we have auditors. If you steal money and you get caught, you're either going to jail. It's not even you're either going to jail, you are definitely going to jail, and you have to refund the money you stole. Do you understand? So this is the first stage. All these things we're talking about are still first stages. They are still the first level of moral development. The first level of moral development. And we're looking at obedience and punishment. That's the first orientation. You know that there is an outcome, there is a consequence for every action that you make, that you take. Now, from there, you now move to the next level. And the next level is where you are right now. I'll give you a very concise example of what we were talking about yesterday, where I said yesterday, last week, where we talked about letting a stranger into the house. If you still remember, letting a stranger into the house, a stranger that was about to be lynched. You let the person into the house. Note, first level of moral development. You know that it is pretty much based on actions and consequences, right? And you know that in this level, if you let a stranger into the house, your parents will beat you. Why? Because they have told you never let strangers into the house. But stage 2, you now know that there are different points of view. You now know that, okay, you can let a stranger into the house based on something because you're trying to save the person's life and all of that. But the key thing in stage 2 is this. I'm highlighting it for you guys. What's in it for me? Because in stage 2, stage 1 is about actions and consequences. But stage 2, hold on, guys. Stage 1 is about actions and consequences. Stage 1 is about actions and consequences. But stage 2 is about individualism and exchange. What can I get? Do you understand? What can I get in this context, in individualism and exchange? It is pretty much about you help me and I help you. Do you get it? You help me, I help you. Nothing goes for free. You help me, I help you. That's what's up in stage 2. Stage 2 is about exchange. what you can get. Do you get me? Do you understand, guys? Stage 2 is about what you can get from whatever you do. It is not in stage 2, you are not being loyal, you're not being. Oh no. Guys, please hold on. My Adobe needs to restart. Sorry about that. My Adobe needs to restart. Okay, we're back. Please confirm that you can see my screen. Please use the comments. Confirm that you can see my screen, please. All right, great. So let's get back to. All right, so we're here. Good, we're here. Now, I was saying something about individualism and exchange, yeah? And we said that stage 1 is actions and consequences. Stage 2 is what? Individualism and exchange. In this case, it is about what you can get. Do you understand? It's about what you can get from whatever action that you perform, whatever action you carry out, what you stand to gain, right? And that takes us to the please note that all these concepts are pre-conventional. These are pre-conventional concepts. Your concern in this case, in stage 1 and stage 2, your concern is for yourself. One, you are watching your actions. You're watching your actions because you don't want to you don't want to have bad consequence for the actions that you take. For the action, for whatever you do, you don't want bad consequences. But in stage 2, yes, it is still your actions, but now it is about what you stand to gain. So note, pre-conventional level of morality is focused on self. Pre-conventional level of morality is focused on self. And that takes us to so we move to the next one, which is the conventional level of morality. Yeah, now, this level is, guys, please ignore the whole adolescent, adult, child, and all of that. Ignore all of that. That's just for example purposes. You are not, it's not this, the, what's it called? It's not age, it's not directly age-based. Do you get? So let's go on. Conventional level of morality. Now, in this situation, people think conventionally. Conventional thinking in this case is that you are not just thinking about yourself. Your concern now is you, but society in view. Note, stage 1 and 2 is about you, what can happen to you, and what you stand to gain. But conventional level of morality is stage 3 and 4. It's about you, but through the lens of the society. Guys, I need you to get this. It is about you, but you're looking at yourself through the lens of the society. And that takes us to stage 3, which is good interpersonal relationships. Good interpersonal relationships. Don't worry, we are still going to have an example that will help us to put all these things into context. It's not, it's just listen to the theories first, listen to the boring part. This is the boring part of the class. I know that all the things we've been discussing for the past 2 weeks, it has always been fun. But this part is really key because these are examinable areas, right? And that's why I already devised an example, a robust example that will cover all this gist. Now, stage 3 is good interpersonal relationships. In this situation, you as an individual, you are now a member of the society. Note, you are now a member of the society. It is now not just about what you stand to gain. It is now about expectation, meeting up to expectations. Expectation in this case is about your family, friends, and the community. For example, as a child, expectation is that as a child, you have parents. Expectation is that what? You take care of your parents. If you have a family, the expectation as a man is to provide, protect, and lead your family. To provide for your family, protect your family, and lead your family. The expectation to friends is what? Always have your friends back, always be in their corner. When your friends need you, be there for them just as they are for you. Do you understand? That's expectation. Community, the expectation from the community is for you to be a respectable member of the community. In this case, please note, the first level, it is about what you and what you stand to gain. But in this case, you are concerned about the society, what the society thinks of you. In this case, you want to be a good boy, you want to be a good girl. It happens even in the workplace where people do office politics, where people act as if, yeah, they are good people. You know, all those people that they are not really working, but they are forming activity. You understand? Please note, office politics is a part of life. You cannot, I don't think anyone can live without office politics, right? But then good interpersonal relationship is pretty much about you. It's pretty much about you being good, you trying to portray a good image of yourself. That's why they say you put your best foot forward. You trying to portray a good image of yourself. That way, people always approve of you. Do you understand? You know how you see a person, maybe a person you work with or your friend. Now let me ask a question. Minor, can you unmute? Minor, can you unmute? I've not heard you speak all day. Minor, I want to ask you a question. Is Minor here? Oh, your place is noisy. Okay, good. But you can type. Minor, how many friends on average, yeah? How many friends do you have? Don't worry, there's no right or wrong answer. How many friends do you have on the average? No, you can type Minor. And what about you, William? How many friends do you have on average? Okay, Minor has 4 friends. Good. Now, you see all these 4 friends. Is it all 4 of them that you tell your secrets to, that you tell secrets to? Like maybe really deep personal stuff. Is it all 4 of them that you tell? Why? Tell me, Minor, why? Why don't you tell all 4 of them your deep personal stuff? Thank you. Not all can keep secret. Now, note, guys, please note this. What just happened here? Minor has judged them based on their action. Do you understand? He has judged them based on their action. Doesn't mean that he doesn't love them. Doesn't mean that they are not his friends. They're still friends. But you already profiled people. Now, that's the way, that's the thing with this level. it is not just about you now, it's about you and other people, the entire society. In this case, you already profile people. You profile people, you judge people, you understand their reasoning based on the actions that they perform. Do you understand? So that's good interpersonal relationship. Next up, we have maintaining social order. Now, moral reasoning at stage 3 is based on interpersonal relationship. But in stage 4, it is concerned with the society as a whole. William, how many of you have driver? Okay, not just William, Ozana, Minor, William. How many of you have driver's license here? If you have driver's license, say I do. If you don't have, say I don't. Good. Williams does. Okay, Minor does. Ozana doesn't. Why am I not surprised? Women, they know they get driver's license. Not their husband or husband driver. The way women used to turn us to houseboy in this life, God will judge. But yeah, let's move on. So, with your driver's license, with the driver's license that you have, why did you decide to go and get a driver's license? Okay, yeah, I think this is the next question. William and Minor. Did you get your driver's license before you had a car or after you had a car? Is it before, just like before or after? When did you get your license? Before you had a car or after you had a car? After you had a car. Okay, good. Next. After you had a car. Now for these people, do you know that what you just said puts you here, obeying the law? Now, you had to get a driver's license because you had a car, right? But then you know that there are some people that also have driver's license before having a car. Why? Why do we even have driver's license in the first place? It is out of respect for what? Social conventions, authority, and obeying the law, because you are not supposed to drive a car if you don't have a driver's license. But be honest with me, William and Minor, have you ever driven car before you had your driver's license? Have you ever driven before you had your driver's license? Yes or no? You don't police wala. Good. Okay. Yeah. But then, have you ever driven a car? Oh, you've never driven, William, before driver's license. Oh, I see. What about you, Minor? You drove. Now, what happened? What does this tell you? That at some point, Minor, you are my perfect example now. At some point, you were here. At some point, you were here. You were willing to take the risk to drive the car based on what you stand to gain. You are probably doing something, or the car was important to you, or you need to drive to somewhere, or there is a reason, and based on what's important to you. But now you are no longer here. You are now here, maintaining social order. You have to get the driver's license so that what you would be in line in respect of social conventions. You'll be obedient to authority and you'll be obeying the law. Do we understand the concepts now? Maintaining social order. All those people that drive buses, Danfo, Faragon, and all of that, they don't maintain social order. Yes, they might be old, but they are still operating at this level. Individualism and exchange, what they stand to gain. Do you get it? That's where they are. That's where they are in at the point of their life. Yes, they might be old, but they are still on that stage. Welcome back, Abimbola. They're still on that stage. Do you get my point? Do you get my point, guys? But you get to this stage. That is why, even as an accountant, you don't commit fraud. Why? Why would you not commit fraud? Because of respect for social conventions, authority, and you obey the law. Are we clear on that, please? And that takes us to the last stage, to the last level, which is post-conventional. Now, post-conventional is known as the principal view. Note, pre-conventional is focused on you and what you stand to gain. Conventional is focused on you and how the society perceives you. Society in this case is about three sets of people: family, friends, and who? The community. Are we clear on that? But post-conventional is called the principled level. It's not about you. In post-conventional, it is not about you. It is not about the society. Do you understand? It's not about you. It's not about the society. It is about principles. It is about principles. And we'll look at that briefly. Look at stage 5, social contract orientation. Individuals think about society differently in this case, in this situation. Do you understand? Now look at this. Look at this. These two things are key. These two things are paramount. All people should have certain basic rights, and there should be some form of democratic procedure. That's the important proponent of the social contract orientation. Do we get it? You understand that yes, people have their different opinion. Yes, there is morality. Yes, there is rights and all of that. But your deal in stage 5 is everybody has rights, and those rights should be protected. Do we get it? Let me ask you. In Nigeria here, do you see a lot of people shouting about, no, this is my right guaranteed by Constitution, my freedom of speech, my this one, that one. Besides the old voting rights and all those things, which rights are we even able to explore in Nigeria? Do you get it? But people in the United States, what do you see? They tell you they have right to this, they have right to that, right to this one, right to that. I say it's because you guys have eaten, and I don't chop and I don't belly food. Person will never chop belly food, no go they find rights up and down. Now food you go to find, like you're not looking for rice, you'll be looking for rice. Do you get? But that is what the social contract orientation is all about. It is about your rights. It is expected that when you are at this level, you understand that yes, people have different opinions and views and all of that. But while we exercise these opinions and views, human rights should be infringed on, and you make sure that democratic procedure is in place. You do your best, you vote, you do all those things. Are we clear on that? That's social contract orientation. And the last one is, guys, don't worry, don't forget that I said that I have created an example that would cover all these turenchi I have been speaking. So let's go. Universal ethical principles. Now, this stage is rare. How many Elon Musk do we have? How many Mark Zuckerberg do we have? How many Dangote do we have? At this stage, moral reasoning is based on abstract universal ethical principles. Now, these people say that the validity of laws and consider that it queries the validity of law and consider that laws are only valid if they are based on justice. Individuals have an obligation to disobey unjust laws. Do you get? Now, for example, the law back then, I always make a reference to this Mary Slessor. The law back then was that killing of twins is okay. But then Mary Slessor came and he said that this law is unjust. It makes no sense. There's no justice. It is bias. It's this, it's that. And she did all those things that white people used to do. And what happened? Do we understand now? What happened? The killing of twins was abolished. Though she lost her life, but then killing of twins is abolished. Do we get that? It is clearly saying that an individual, look at this last paragraph that I added. An individual makes moral decisions because they are right. not because they are a means to an end or because action is legal or expected. Do you get? At this point, everything you do what is right because it is right. You do what you do because it is right, not a means to an end. Do you get it? Now, this is the example we are using, and I'm using it to explain Gabriel Ain's dilemma of Kohlberg. Now, Kohlberg is the number of fictional cases. Guys, please, I need to at this stage, even if you do not listen to all my English since, it is key that you listen to this, because this time we are unmuting and we are talking. So everybody, please unmute, except mine now, that's in a very noisy place. Everybody, please unmute. Okay, is there anybody here that can read? I don't want to read this. I want you to read it yourself. Okay, everybody, let's do something. Let's do something, everybody. I need you to read through, everybody, read through this case study. Read through the case study from beginning to the end. When you are done with the case study, type done in the comments. I need to see 4 dones. Then we'll talk about it. Guys, please read through the case study and type done when you're done reading. Good. Now, this is the question. Now that you've read the case study, I'll read through it again for you. The Ain's is, okay, so the Ain's dilemma is based on fictional case of man. Haynes, whose wife is suffering from cancer and close to death. There is one drug that doctors think might save her. This is a drug that a scientist in the same town recently discovered. The drug is expensive to produce, but the price charged for the drug by the scientist is 10 times its production cost. The scientist paid $200 to make the drug and was charging $2,000 for a small dose. Haynes wanted to buy the drug for his wife, but had very little money. He went to everyone he knew to obtain money to buy the drug, but could only raise $1,000. He told the scientist about his wife's medical condition and that he could raise $1,000. He asked the scientist to let him buy the drug at that price or let him pay the rest of the money later. The scientist refused, saying that he had discovered the drug and intended to make money from producing it. In desperation, Haynes broke into the scientist's premises to steal the drug for his wife. Now, this is the question. Question 1. Should Haynes have broken into the scientist's premises to steal the drug? If yes, why? If no, why not? Now, I want to start with, in this order, Abimbola, Hosanna, Maina, and William. So let's go, Abimbola. Should Haynes have broken into the scientist's premises to steal the drug or not? And why?
Okay. I would say it's not okay. I just joined the class, so I don't know what this man is in particular is saying. But morally, if I'm just going to judge from my point of view, I'll say it's not a good thing to boggle someone's office, but at the same time, for the reason behind the stealing, I'll say it's okay, because it's actually it's life and death anyways. So yeah, it's fine. Yes.
So you're still not answering my question. Should he have broken in or not?
Yes, it's okay. It should have. It's good that he did.
It's good that he went to steal, that he became an armed robber because of woman.
Not woman, because of life now.
Okay, because of life. Because he wants to save his wife's life, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. That's a good one. Okay. Um, Hosanna, I know you said your background is noisy, but let's test your background. Let's test your background, Hosanna. Let's test your background. Please unmute. Let's test your background.
It's okay.
Okay, good. So, Hosanna, you said no, right?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Um, Burgling into somebody's office or shop already we know is wrong. It's not okay. At first, the way he was able to raise the order $1,000, I believe he would have gone the same way. Because from what we read,
No.
he didn't have.
From what we read, he said he went to everyone he knew to obtain the money, but he could
Yes,
only
sir.
raise $1,000.
He should have gone again and try again instead of stealing.
This one you don't understand. They said he has done all he see what this statement means is that he has done all he can. Even the $1,000, I am sure that by all he can, by everyone he knew, it also include bank loan. Let me
Well,
explain.
even with that,
Hold on, let me explain what this means to you. You know, $1,000 in Nigeria is how much? It is at least 1.3 million.
okay.
Do you understand? It's at least 1.3 million. Is it easy to raise 1.3 million?
It's not easy anyways.
Thank you. So I'm telling you that this man has gone up and down. See, it's because we see $1,000. That's why it's sounding small to you. That's why I had to bring it to Naira. This person has gone up and down to look for 1.3 million. The doctor wants to sell the drug at 2 million, at $2,000, which is 2.6 million, right? But you have only raised 1.3 million. And the person, so Hosanna, let me ask you the question like this. Let's
Yes,
ask
sir.
the question like this. First, have you married? You are married, right?
Yes.
Good. So I'm not going to use your husband because women don't used to love men. You women, you don't used to love us unconditionally. It's your
Are
children
you
you
sure?
love. Women don't love men unconditionally. Forget her. Not with this life. Experience that we don't see. Forget her. So, Hosanna, if it is, God forbid, if it is one of the person's child, if it's the person's child, let's say only child. I don't want to use your own. Let's say the person's only
I understand.
child. Right? The person's only child. What would you advise? No, don't go, Abby. And the person has done all he can to, and he was only able to raise 1.3 million.
I still maintain my no.
No. Why? Because
Yes, sir.
stealing is bad, Abby.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they should just allow the child to die.
What else will I do now?
Okay. Oh yeah, Minor, your turn. Let's test your background. As noisy as it may be, let's test it, Minor. Minor, I'm willing to take the risk on your background. Minor. Why Minor gets ready to join us mentally and emotionally? William, let's test your background, please. William, let's test your background. Okay, you want to use your phone then? Is that not what you're using? I don't know. What type of laptops do you guys use? You can't join from you can't talk through your laptop. I'm using my laptop now and I'm talking through it. Welcome, sir. Mr. Williams, sir. Welcome, sir.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, when the case, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the action is quite wrong, but the
Okay.
intention was right.
Okay.
Stealing is breaking the law, as it were, but the intention of doing that is human.
Okay, so tell me, if you were in his shoe, would you break into the premises?
I will do that.
You will
I
break
will do
in.
that. I will.
Okay. If you are the one that they told this story to, what would you say? Would you say you should break in? He came to ask you for advice. Would you say you should break in or not? Would you do Tribe of Judah?
I
A tribe
pray
called
nothing
Judah.
bad will happen to people, but in this circumstance, I think the intentions we need to, like, was it consequences? The one of the ethics we did earlier, maybe last week, about the consequences.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think
consequentialist theory.
I
We call
think
it.
that should override the whatever breaking the law, stealing, stuff like that.
I see. What about you, Minor? Minor, can you attempt it now? Minor, are you good now? Minor, are you here? Okay, so I don't know, some Minor's network today, and I always like hearing his input. All right, so thank you all for your contributions. Now let's move to this. Do you remember the stages? Guys, if you still remember the stages, type in the comments, say yes. You still remember the stages, type in the comments, say yes. Good. So let's go. Number 1, obedience and punishment. Now, according to that first stage, now you see, I came up with I'm bringing these answers to you based on each stage. Good. Now, these are the possible reasons for obedience and punishment, which is stage 1 in level 1. Level 1 is pre-conventional. So the first stage in pre-conventional is obedience and punishment. And in obedience and punishment, we are saying that, don't forget that obedience and punishment is such where you know that there is consequence for your action. So we are saying that hence should not steal the drug. Why? Because if it does, it will be put in prison, and that will be very bad. Because think about it, he steals the drug and he gives his wife the drug. The wife used the drug, finish, she is fine. But police arrested him and they sent him to jail. The wife will be fine. Maybe they sent him to like 30 years imprisonment. The wife will be fine. And what happens? 5 years after, she'll marry another man. Because that's what women used to do. That's their way. Guys, write in the comment, yes or no. That's how women used to do, yes or no. Hosanna, I did not say laugh. I said yes or no. That's how women do, yes or no. There's no sitting on the fence here. No sitting on the fence. We are breaking the fence. We need to erect a new building, justice for men. Men's lives matter. Now, the other alternative is, hence you steal the drug. It only costs 200 naira and he offered to pay a lot more. He's only stealing the drug, nothing else. Guys, you remember that the scientist too, none of you thought about this, that the scientist too is a thief, Oli Ajiboli. When you are making the drug for $200 and you're selling it for times 10. And that's the thing with all these Instagram market vendors. They will go to Balogun market, you buy something at 400 naira. You come and sell it at 4,000 naira. Or even 40,000. You say that it is direct from boutique. That's obedience and punishment. 2, self-interest. Now, what is self-interest saying? Hence should not steal the drug, because if he does, he will go to the prison. Prison is a terrible place. You remember I told you that in self-interest, it is about what I stand to gain. Self-interest is about what I stand to gain, right? And we say that prison is a terrible place. He will suffer a lot if he goes there, more than if his wife dies. Or, hence should steal the drug, because if he does, he will be very happy, even if he has to spend some time in jail. You know, there are people like that you're willing to. It's just about the outcome for you. Do you understand? It's all about the outcome for you. Now, number 3, interpersonal accord. Interpersonal accord is, don't forget that interpersonal accord is, okay, guys, what is the second level? What's the second level in Kohlberg's stages of moral development? What's the second level? What's the second level, everybody? If you can't remember, just write, I can't remember. So I'll just answer you. And we don't take all the time because we still have a long way to go. What's the second level, guys? So Nabibola is just clocking in and out. MTN network is bad today.
Hello.
Yeah, what's the second level?
So are you talking of the pre-conventional or conventional stage?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So what's level 2?
Level 2 in pre-conventional is individualism and exchange.
No, that's not what I'm asking you.
Okay.
The levels are pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional.
Okay.
It is the stages that are obedience, self-interest, interpersonal, and all of that. Do we get it?
All right.
All right, good. So, 3, interpersonal accord. Now, in interpersonal accord, we're saying that, don't forget that interpersonal accord is about your responsibility to the society and how the society views you. So we're saying 1, hence should not steal the drug because stealing is bad and he's not a criminal. You know that when you go to jail, you become a criminal, obviously, and it's already in your public record. 2, you can't blame him. He did everything first. He could first without breaking the law. And 3, hence should steal the drug. He's a good husband, and his wife will expect him to do it. Don't forget, we are saying that in interpersonal accord, we're saying that your responsibility is to the society, to your family, and to your friends. Do we get it? So, and that's what we just highlighted here. That's what we just highlighted here. The next one is maintaining social order. In maintaining social order, we say that aims should not steal the drugs because stealing is against the law. Yes or no, everybody? Write in the comments. Yes or no? Good. So, in maintaining social order, we said aims should not steal the drug because stealing is against the law. Or it should steal the drug but he should also face the consequence and take punishment for the crime. We all know why he did it. Now, get this. It is this maintaining social order that what's it called? That William is going with. This second one. And we know why we did it, but breaking the law has its consequences. You can't let criminals go around doing whatever they want. Do you understand? In maintaining social order, nothing else matters except the law and the society. Do we get? Now it takes us to the next one, which is the post-conventional. Is these ones that are principles. They live by principles. Now he's saying that A should not steal the drug because the scientist has a right to fair compensation. Even though his wife is near death, Ains is not justified in stealing. Or Ains should steal the drug regardless of the law because everyone has a right to life. Do we get it? Everyone has a right to life. And last but not the least, the universal ethical principles says that Ains should not steal the drug. If he does, it means that someone else will not be able to buy it. And the person might need as much, they might need it just as much as Ains' wife. Right? And their life is also important. That's universal ethics. Because you're not looking at things based on just you. You're considering things from, what if everybody acts like you? Do you get? What if everybody does what you do? Then there's universal ethical principles. Says that N should not steal the drug. If he does, this means that someone else will not be able to buy it. Okay, I said this already. Or N should steal the drug because saving a human life is more important than respect for somebody's property rights. Don't forget, I said that in universal ethical principles, people don't just follow the law, they do what is right because it's right. And they don't ignore the rights. However, they believe that everybody should obey laws that are just. Are we clear on that? So there are criticism to Kohlberg's ideas. We say that that the last two stages, they put their principles against over the society and the law. They know how to do that. Yeah, they put their principles over the society and the law. And if everybody is putting their own principles over society and the law, all we will have is what? Anarchy. All right. And that takes us to, that's the end of Kohlberg's level of morality. That's the end. We've sorted that part out. The stages of moral development and all of that for Kohlberg. We've sorted all of that out. Now, before I move to the next one, which will be our last part for the day, before I move to the next, and that's where we are going to spend over an hour, where we're going now. Before I move to the next one, let me ask you guys, any question, please ask me now. Any question, please ask me now. Thank you. Within now in the next 4 minutes, you can take a stretch. For any question. Guys, please, if you don't have questions, type in the comments. No question, no question, no question. Guys, please, if you don't have questions, say no question. Or you unmute yourself and say it.